tonight's more of just a celebration for me. It's for my family and my doctors. A way of thanking them and yourself for helping me do it. You know, I just find it incredible that people are interested. You know, I've had people come to me tonight and just, you know, they said, oh, they started reading it, they couldn't put it down. And, you know, I don't feel like it's anything special.
Greg came round to my office a month ago, and maybe 2 months ago, and said he'd written a book, and I thought it was going to be a North Melbourne history epistle, and I thought, goodness mate, I'm not sure where this is going to go. Anyway, he told me his story, and I read it over a weekend, and it took my breath away, to be honest. I was so impressed. I sent an SMS to the 70 or 80 ex-North friends of mine that I have, encouraging them all to buy it, and he asked me to MC this evening, and I'm really pleased to.
I'd also like to specifically welcome Greg's family, Max, who I've seen, Wendy, who get them out, bang them together for the Ryan family. Max, Wendy, Brad, Tenda.
He came in and he said to me, we've got a few problems. Greg is born with what they call an imperfect anus. He didn't have an opening for his bowel, and also had a few other problems as well.
As I said, this is not a glamorous topic. You know, when I was doing my PhD, I was routinely referred to as either the paediatrician or the Lord of the Ring, you know, or the Rear Admiral. You know, the way I gave my talks was always to take the mickey out of that, because by opening, you know, and talking about this, you know, we all poo. You don't poo, you die. It's the way things go. And it's absolutely critical that we are able to talk about this in an open forum.
I think the hardest age was probably when he had to go to school and have, we had to give him constant, he had to have enemas and bowel washouts as a child. He'd get very constipated, and as a little baby, when he was in the hospital, this is before that, he would, because he had a colostomy, all his little skin would get burnt around his tummy. So I would have to put him in a cot and sit him by the window and tie his little hands down, which was terrible. So he wouldn't scratch himself and bleed. Yes, so that was a bit horrific. I mean, we didn't realise, in a way, I knew he was going through lots of problems as a child, but I didn't realise that he was having so many problems, you know, as a child, growing up with school, and we had our days where we cried when we came from school and everything, you know, we'd have kids say things, because kids can be cruel. They don't realise. And
I knew all about his history. It was something that he didn't sort of speak about a hell of a lot, and he was just, I just think it's amazing after reading the book to think he's got the courage to come out and speak about his, I suppose you'd call it a congenital aberration. It's just amazing, and he's one special individual. I'm glad so many people have turned up here tonight to see Greg and listen to his story and his launch of his book.
I've often talked about the forms of courage to the players I coached, and I reckon there are 4 types of courage. I reckon there's spontaneous courage. It's your first response to an action without thinking. Someone hits you on the chin, you go straight back and hit him on the chin. Talk about Dutch courage. What's your exhibit when you've had a few drinks? Expected courage. It's what expected of you following an action, especially when you're in front of your peers. You know, if you don't do something, you know, you're going to be look like a fool. But I think the most important courage of the whole lot is resolve courage. And they're the 4 types of courage that I know of. But when I was going to speak tonight, I come to the conclusion there's another type of courage. And I call it the Greg Ryan courage, for what he's been through and the way he's carried himself.
Well, I've got no doubt he's going to be a role model for so many people. And, you know, just to see his Facebook posts and the number of people who are getting involved now. So many people suffering in silence.
I'll just give you a reason why how the book came about. About 8-9 years ago, I was under the care of an incredible man by the name of Dr. Fred Hocking, who was a psychiatrist. and I'd see him every couple of weeks, and I was struggling in between appointments. And he said, well, why don't you start writing? And just writing what your thoughts are, and then when you see me every couple of weeks, we can talk about it. I thought, oh yeah, that's all right. So I bought an exercise book, and every night I'd write, like a journal, and that was my release. And then as time went by, I thought, well, I wasn't doing anything else, so I might just write my story. There was no rhyme or reason behind it. There was never any thought of it being in a book, I can tell you now. Like for me, it's amazing how I've sort of like gone from total secrecy to now totally transparent and everybody knows, and it doesn't faze me.
I want to support Greg, but I actually want to stand back and just look at him. The way in which he's gone from this shy guy that was, in hindsight, dealing with a secret in my time at the footy club and then subsequently, to the man that I'm seeing now, who's got this purpose and this level of confidence and this mission is quite inspiring. And so anyway, I'm here to sort of support him a little bit, but just really watch him.
He's always been special. He never cried, he never complained. He would, you know, I mean, it's awful to say this, but when I used to have to give him bowel washouts and enemas, he would lay on the bed. He never complained, he never cried, he just let me do what we had to do.
There's 1 in 5,000, and I've always thought, well, you know, I don't really think that's right, because it took me 50 years before I ever found anybody else. Supposed to go to grand finals, whatever, there's 100,000 people there, and I think, I wonder how many other people here have got IA. And it helped me too, because a lot of the stuff that I didn't remember, but having the records there just helped. And this just progressed and progressed and progressed. Reality is, I'm still a day-to-day proposition. I could wake up and have a good day, or I could have a bad day. So that, from that point of view, it hasn't really changed anything. And I have to be fully aware that, you know, at the moment, sort of like there's a lot of attention on me with the book and all that, and that's great. But when that dies down, how will I cope, you know? And I still, to this day, it's the mental illness is, for me, probably harder to deal with than the physical. You know,
I go back when I was coaching, and we weren't trained or had any expertise in treating mental illnesses and people with issues similar to Greg. As we get older, as we get smarter, you'd like to think with life experiences and listening to people like Greg and even reading his book, you perhaps understand things. And I think the greater population get a better understanding when you read Greg's book. And I think it's going to open doors for so many people who have suffered in silence.
The whole mental health question has raised its head increasingly in AFL circles. There's a lot of misconceptions about it. So yeah, this is a fabulous story and one that will resonate within the coaching community, not just at the AFL level. There's 30-odd thousand coaches around the country, and our sort of vision is that all of them understand the obligation they've got to all of their players, and Greg was a footy player at one stage as well. So the more we destigmatise this and help the coaches who are at the tip of the spear, the better.
He gets more pleasure out of where he got that video from the girl from America. He gets more out of that than helping like that. But that was tremendous.
He's not just writing his story, is he? He's actually really keen to make sure nobody else has to go through this.
Yeah, well, he's trying to help people.
I just hope he's happy, and I just hope he's getting what he can out of it all. You know, I just think this has been so good for him because he's involved now with people with the same problems. So that is another outlet for him.
He's always been like that. He's always been like that. I'm an artist, quiet type person. Now it's sort of coming out in this, and amazing.
I would love it that no other kid has to live the secret for 50 years. That's, for me, that means anything now.